Welcome to this explainer. Look, right now there is a literal high-stakes scenario unfolding in downtown Lake Worth Beach, Florida. It's actually one of the very last communities on Florida's East Coast that still has that genuine, bohemian, old Florida character. But that fragile arts identity, it's under immense pressure. So today we're diving straight into a civic framework called Mosaic. It's a plan designed to protect this creative character before it just gets completely paved over by generic market forces.
And we're talking about a massive structural mismatch right now. Lake Worth Beach is experiencing this super rare alignment of huge capital projects. You've got the $100 million restoration of the historic Gulfstream Hotel, which is going to bring in high-end boutique rooms and massive daily foot traffic. Right alongside that, the WMODA Museum is breaking ground, projecting 50,000 annual visitors. That is incredible destination gravity. But walk the ground today, and the reality is a struggling, human-scale arts district. Storefronts are just sitting empty. Viable restaurant concepts open, and then they close within a year because of operational friction. And the visible spaces that do actually get filled, they're defaulting to smoke shops. Businesses that pay the rent, sure, but do absolutely nothing to reinforce an arts district.
Which brings us to Section 1, the missing link. See, this vulnerability isn't just some sudden accident. If we look back at the timeline, in 2016, the city, the Community Redevelopment Agency, and the Cultural Council actually commissioned a massive 18-month downtown arts study. Then, in 2017, the resulting Arts and Culture Master Plan made a very specific recommendation. It said the city absolutely needed an independent stewardship nonprofit to coordinate the creative economy. They even set a target date for implementation in the first half of 2018. But they missed it. Now fast forward to 2026. Those major anchors we talked about, WMODA and the Gulfstream, they're arriving and they're landing in a completely uncoordinated district. Think about that. That is a 9-year gap between knowing exactly what the city needed and the reality we're seeing today.
The crucial point here is incredibly blunt. That central recommendation was simply never implemented. The independent, professionally staffed entity that was supposed to act as a shield and coordinate the creative economy, it never materialized. Now, the city obviously has institutions, the CRA, the Cultural Council, local programs like Lula, and they all do great work within their specific lanes. But none of them are legally or structurally mandated to curate private tenant mixes or serve as a permanent district steward. And because that recommendation was ignored, the city's authentic character is sitting there completely unprotected.
So let's look at Section 2, the urgent intervention, the Mosaic framework. Now, Mosaic is not trying to replace the 2017 master plan. It's actually the framework to finally implement it. It works on 4 reinforcing pillars to do the job that neither the city nor the CRA is currently built to do. Pillar 1 focuses on steering the district's commercial tenant mix directly toward creative businesses. Pillar 2 is all about coordinating the creative ecosystem so these operators actually survive. Pillar 3 tackles recruiting the talent pipeline. And Pillar 4? That's about connecting those massive new anchor institutions to a broader, regional cultural audience. When you put them together, they create this brilliant, self-sustaining loop.
All right, Section 3, Pillar 1 Deep Dive, the Creative Lease Incentive Pilot.
I want to really focus on this one because it's the most innovative program here. What makes this pilot so interesting is the scale. We are only talking about 3 to 5 storefronts for a 12 to 18-month test. Mosaic isn't asking the city to make some massive, reckless gamble. Not at all. This is a highly bounded, super focused pilot test specifically targeting those visible vacancies right along Lake and Lucerne Avenues. The whole goal is just to prove the concept. Prove that you can actually reduce visible vacancies, improve the downtown tenant mix, and provide a totally credible alternative to another smoke shop.
So, mechanically, here's how this pilot works. And it actually draws inspiration from a highly successful model over in Miami Beach. Step 1, you clearly define the eligible geography and the public benefit criteria. We only want businesses that actively further the district's cultural vibe. Step 2, Mosaic doesn't just go to landlords and say, hey, take a blind risk. No, it supplies them with a pre-vetted pipeline of operationally ready creative operators. Step 3 is the real financial engine. Eligible landlords get reimbursed for a portion of their rent, mortgage, or real estate tax expenses. That's capped at 50% or $2,500 a month. And finally, Step 4, both the landlord and the tenant get their business tax receipt fees completely waived. When you step back and look at these together, it's pretty brilliant. It fundamentally rewires the economic math. It literally makes leasing to a local artist or creative business financially better than settling for a low-fit commercial tenant.
Moving on to Section 4, Building the Ecosystem. This covers Pillars 2, 3, and 4.
See, these three remaining pillars are what make that whole tenanting strategy credible in the first place. Under Pillar 2, operational support, Mosaic provides shared back-office services. We're talking bookkeeping, legal help, and crucially, active advocacy through the city's notoriously tough permitting process. This removes the kind of friction that honestly bankrupts small operators before they even open their doors. Then under Pillar 3, the talent pipeline, Mosaic proactively recruits and maintains a vetted artist registry, so there is always a steady stream of qualified operators ready to go for those Pillar 1 lease incentives. Finally, Pillar 4 turns Lake Worth Beach into a regional destination. The idea here is to capture the immense wealth situated just 5 miles away on Palm Beach Island and directly integrate that daily foot traffic from the new Gulfstream Hotel and W. Moda Museum right into the local galleries and studios. It completes the circuit.
Which leads us to Section 5, the final ultimatum. We really have to ask a stark question right now. Will the city shape its own future, or is it going to be shaped by the market? We have literally seen this exact urban pattern play out time and time again. Just think about Wynwood in Miami or Asheville up in North Carolina. The artists and cultural operators build a neighborhood's amazing, authentic identity. Then, naturally, investment follows. But if there are no structural protections in place, the market just captures that identity, prices absolutely skyrocket, and the original creators get completely hollowed out. If Lake Worth Beach just sits back and lets market forces take the wheel entirely, they are going to lose the very thing that gives them a competitive edge over every other polished, interchangeable corridor in South Florida. The market window is closing right now. That pre-appreciation inventory on the ground floor, it is disappearing as we speak. Doing nothing here is not a neutral path. Inaction is a deliberate choice to let private capital pave right over Lake Worth Beach's authentic character. The city has the creative base, it has the advancing anchors, it even has the nearby patron wealth. Now it just needs the coordination to tie it all together. If Lake Worth Beach acts swiftly to implement a framework like Mosaic, it can prove that rising value can actually benefit the people who built the community in the first place. So I'll leave you with this. Will the city organize before the market decides its fate for it? It's a fascinating question, and one we will undoubtedly be watching closely. Thank you for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.